Don't you just love Valentine's Day? You've got flowers and chocolate and cards and just so much romance. It really is beautiful.
This is a love triangle that went bad.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to An Honest Critique. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. With Valentine's Day this weekend, I thought I would offer some suggestions of movies and TV shows to watch. Whether you're spending the day with your significant other, a group of friends, or all by yourself, more power to you, these movies and TV shows should give you something fun to watch, or something to make fun of. And don't worry, not everything on this list is a sappy romance movie. I have included some comedies and horror for those who are interested. The reason I'm making this video is because I always find myself wanting to watch a certain movie and then having to pay for it because it's not on any of the streaming services that I'm currently paying for. It's for that reason that I will be offering some suggestions from a variety of those platforms that you can watch now. Without further ado, let's get into this. First up, we have Disney+. If you're like me, you downloaded it when it first came out and you've been paying for it ever since, sometimes forgetting that you still are. Here are 3 movies you could watch on the platform this Valentine's Day. You can't get any more Disney classic than The Lion King. It has that iconic "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" scene and so much romance between Simba and Nala. While I think it's a great choice, I have to suggest The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. This was a straight-to-VHS movie, so a lot of people don't even know about it.
VHS is a standard for consumer-level analog video recording on tape cassettes. In other words, it was the brick that we 90s babies used to watch movies like The Lion King.
It's a pretty well-known fact that Disney movies have often been based on Shakespeare plays. Many people think that The Lion King is based on Hamlet, and with the central plot of the second movie being 2 young lions from rival families being kept away from each other, it's no surprise that The Lion King 2 is based on Romeo and Juliet. I love this movie and I recommend giving it a watch if you haven't already seen it. If you haven't seen Tangled, I don't know where you've been. It's a nice twist on the classic Rapunzel story. The movie presents a strong female protagonist who comes out swinging once she has a taste of freedom. It's not super romantic, but it has some really sweet moments. Also, it has one of the most iconic paper lantern scenes that will definitely make you feel all the feels. I love both Princess Diary movies and I'm still waiting on the third to come out, but for this list I have to suggest Princess Diaries 2. Why the second one in particular? Because I love the premise. We find Princess Mia of Genovia ready to take the throne as queen, but she has to find a husband before she can do that. Typical problem, right? Well, the task of finding that husband leads her on a journey of self-discovery and female empowerment. Also, Chris Pine is nice to look at, so give it a watch. In addition to these 3 movies, I have a few honorable mentions. Aladdin is always a go-to. It's one of my favorite Disney movies and it's got plenty of romance in it, so please watch it. And I mean the 1992 version, not the whatever 2019 it was. The movie follows the story of Aladdin, a boy from the street, and Jasmine, a princess who has been locked away for most of her life, as they face a number of obstacles when an evil force is threatening the city of Agrabah. There are definitely some very romantic moments in the movie, and the nostalgia you'll feel while watching it is more than enough reason to watch. Another honorable mention is the High School Musical trilogy, yes, all 3. I know that the series isn't everyone's favorite, although it is mine, but I see it as Disney's cheesy rendition of the classic Romeo and Juliet story. The cute nerdy girl with the basketball team captain. If anything, watch it for the nostalgia and the music that you know you'll be singing along to the second it starts. I will say, if you do like the High School Musical trilogy and you haven't watched High School Musical, the series, do check that out too. It took some time, but it really did grow on me. My final honorable mention is Beauty and the Beast, either one honestly, the animation or the live remake. I'm usually a fan of only the original Disney animations because their remakes have really been a hit or miss for me, case in point, Aladdin. But I will say that I think Beauty and the Beast's remake was super stunning. The frame-by-frame modernization was really impressive, and I love the story because it's about falling in love with the person on the inside, not necessarily the outside. Also, I can't be the only one who thinks that the Beast was way more attractive than the prince he turns into. Anyway, We have seen a lot of TV shows and movies that have copied this Beauty and the Beast premise, so let's give credit where credit is due and give it a watch this Valentine's Day. Next up, we have Hulu. I usually think of Hulu as the platform where I watch all my favorite shows the day after they come out on TV, but it actually has a pretty good selection of movies too. I've been referencing Romeo and Juliet this whole video, so I have to suggest my favorite film version of the Shakespearean masterpiece. The 2013 version has great actors, stunning scenery and wardrobe, and it's just beautifully made. I may make a video based on this film alone one day. That's how many good things I have to say about it. So please be sure to give it a try if you're in the mood to watch the classic story in a beautiful light. I don't know why I hadn't found this movie sooner, but I have to recommend Love, Simon. It follows the story of Simon, a normal high school kid who has this big secret that he's keeping from his friends and family. He's gay. The movie follows the ups and downs of his journey as he tries to figure out who to tell, when to tell, how, and everything in between. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it does a great job of exploring the difficulties of coming out, being comfortable in your own skin, and also finding love no matter what it looks like. So please give this a watch. For those looking for something a bit different to watch this Valentine's Day, might I suggest Twisted Love. This docu-series takes a look inside shocking crimes that were committed in the name of love. There are currently 6 episodes on Hulu, but if you like it, the platform will suggest other series like it. So crime junkies, please give it a shot. I have a few more honorable mentions for the Hulu platform, one of which is Shrek. Like Beauty and the Beast, Shrek is a great movie for Valentine's Day because it teaches us to fall in love with the person, or in this case, Ogre's personality, not their physical attributes. If you don't know, it follows characters Shrek and Donkey as they go on an adventure to rescue Princess Fiona and return her to the castle. Super funny and worth the watch if you need something to watch this weekend. I have to suggest the Bachelor and Bachelorette seasons. There's a few on Hulu, not too many, just because they're only keeping up with the latest seasons. But if you want to sit back and just watch some cringy romance, what else would I suggest? One of my cousins recommended Nobody's Fool a while back, and when I finally got around to watching it, I thought it was really funny. It explores the idea of what we look for in a significant other. Some of us have this long laundry list of what we look for, just like the female protagonist Danica, and we try to find Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, who checks every single box. But when a possible catfish becomes involved in Danica's love life, she and her sister Tanya go on a crazy journey to discover the truth about Mr. So-called Perfect. Now onto everyone's favorite platform, famous for Netflix and chill, good old Netflix. With a wide variety of things to watch, you really can't go wrong with a simple romance search on this platform. My first suggestion is Always Be My Maybe. It's a romantic comedy about childhood sweethearts who have a falling out and don't speak for 15 years, only reconnecting as adults when Sasha runs into Marcus in San Francisco. Although the old sparks are still there, the couple live in different worlds, so we watch them struggle to see whether or not the romance really exists between them. Ali Wong is a hilarious stand-up comedian, and she and her co-star Randall Park are very cute together, so I recommend watching this cute little romantic comedy. The next movie I have to recommend is To All the Boys I've Loved Before. This movie was all over Netflix's top 10 when it first came out, probably because it was the movie to skyrocket Noah Centino's career into the atmosphere. It follows the story of Lara Jean, a young teenage girl who writes letters to all of her past loves, and these letters were only meant for her eyes. However, when the letters mysteriously get out and reach all 5 loves, they begin to wreak havoc on her love life. It's like a lot of the rom-coms out there, but I actually really enjoyed it. So I recommend giving it a watch if you haven't already. You can't go wrong with A Night of Laughs. Netflix offers a variety of stand-up comedy specials, so you can definitely find something for your particular taste. May I recommend Ali Wong, Gabriel Iglesias, George Lopez, and John Mulaney. These comedians have great content, and it'll feel like you're getting a private show with them rocking the stage. A few honorable mentions I have are The Kissing Booth, which is very similar to All the Boys I've Loved Before. It's got a lot of drama sneaking around, so again, typical rom-com, but I think it's pretty funny. Next up is Emily in Paris. I binge watched this show when it first came out, and with it having a short first season and hopefully second season coming out soon, it is a very easy watch. It has gotten some pretty mixed reviews because of the main character, but I gave it a chance and I actually really liked it. It follows a driven 20-something American woman from Chicago, Emily, who moves to Paris for an unexpected job opportunity. She's then tasked with bringing an American point of view to the French marketing firm. Although she does have her list of romantic suitors throughout the season, I love how the show explores feminist storylines and Emily embraces a form of self-love. So try an episode or two and see what you think. Finally, I have to recommend Bridgerton. Although it seems like the show's wave has come and gone, it's still a really great series to watch, especially if you're looking for an old-fashioned yet modern-feeling romance among men and women trying to rise the ranks of 1800s English society. There's a little something for everyone in this show. It's got the Lady Whistledown mystery, the romance between a few couples, and some great feminist storylines. So I think it's definitely worth the watch. HBO Max feels like such a luxury streaming service. If you have it or someone is nice enough to provide you with their login info, here are a few suggestions. I know The Notebook is on every romantic movie list out there, but I couldn't keep it off of mine. One of Nicholas Sparks' best works, it takes place in 1940 South Carolina and follows the lives of mill worker Noah Calhoun and rich girl Allie, who are desperately in love but her parents don't approve. Very Romeo and Juliet, obviously. When Noah goes off to serve in World War II, it seems to mark the end of their love affair, and during this time, Allie becomes involved with another man. But when Noah returns to their small town years later, on the cusp of Allie's engagement, it soon becomes clear that their romance is anything but over. This movie is great on its first watch or its 20th, so if you want to watch a classic romance movie, you have to watch The Notebook this weekend. Crazy Rich Asians is by far my go-to romance movie. I have seen it more times than I've seen High School Musical, and that is saying a lot. If you don't know what it's about, Rachel Chu is happy to accompany her longtime boyfriend, Nick, to his best friend's wedding in Singapore. She's also surprised to learn that Nick's family is extremely rich, and he's considered one of the country's most eligible bachelors. When she's thrust into the spotlight, Rachel must now learn how to wade through the jealous socialites, quirky relatives, and Nick's disapproving mother. This movie feels like a Romeo and Juliet story, but it elevates the classic play by having an important conversation about race and the distinctions that we make within our own groups. Also, if Tangled's paper lantern scene made you swoon, the wedding scene in Crazy Rich Asians will make you cry happy tears. Speaking from experience. It's just a good movie for Valentine's Day and honestly a great movie year-round. For those looking for a horror movie for Valentine's Day, look no further than My Bloody Valentine. 10 years ago, an experienced coal miner named Tom Hanager, played by Jensen Ackles from Supernatural, do you need another reason to watch? Caused an accident that killed 5 men and put a 6th, Harry Warden, into a coma. A year later, on Valentine's Day, Harry woke up and murdered 22 people with a pickaxe before dying. When Tom returns home, still haunted by his past, he's confronted by something even worse. A pickaxe-wielding killer in a miner's mask, who may be the ghost of Harry, who's come to claim Tom and his friends. This is definitely an older movie, but I think it's one of those bad horror movies you can watch and make fun of. And it's Valentine's Day themed, so what's better than that? Now for the HBO Max honorable mentions. First up is The Lucky One, another Nicholas Sparks classic. When U.S. Marine Sergeant Logan Thibault, played by High School Musical's own Zac Efron, again, do you need another reason to watch? Returns home from his 3rd tour of duty in Iraq with the one thing he believes kept him alive, a photograph of a woman he doesn't even know. He learns the woman's name is actually Beth and goes to meet her, eventually taking a job at her family-run kennel. Zac Efron, dogs, no other reason to watch. Though Beth is full of mistrust and leads a complicated life, a romance blooms, giving Logan hope that Beth could become more than just his good luck charm. Next up is 13 Going on 30. I think this is a really good choice for Valentine's Day because it's all about self-love. It's about a girl who's sick of the social structure of junior high and she's transformed into an adult overnight. In this feel-good fairy tale, teenager Jenna wants a boyfriend, and when she's unable to find one, she fantasizes about being a well-adjusted adult. Suddenly, her secret desire becomes a reality and she is transformed into a 30-year-old. But adulthood, with its own set of female and male challenges, isn't as easy as it looks. I think this is a classic movie that would just be a feel-good movie to watch on Valentine's Day. Finally, The Photograph. I think this is a really cool movie that I saw a preview for a long time ago, and I finally got around to watching it. The premise is really interesting. When a famed photographer dies unexpectedly, she leaves her estranged daughter May hurt, angry, and full of questions. When May finds a photograph tucked away in a safe deposit box, she soon finds herself delving into her mother's early life, an investigation that leads to an unexpected romance with a rising journalist. If you're willing to spend a little money this weekend, may I suggest a few movies? First up is The Longest Ride. I really like this movie. Maybe it's because, I kind of grew up on a farm or whatever, but I just really like this whole country boy, city girl kind of a feel. Just to explain the premise, former bull riding champion Luke, played by Scott Eastwood, and college student Sophia, Britt Robertson, are in love, but conflicting paths and ideals threaten to tear them apart. Luke hopes to make a comeback on the radio circuit, and Sophia is about to embark on her dream job in New York's art world. As the couple ponder their romantic future, they find inspiration in Ira, an elderly man whose decades-long romance with his beloved wife withstood the test of time. This definitely feels like The Notebook, so if you enjoyed that, maybe give this one a try as a more modern take on that old classic movie. You can rent it on YouTube for $3.99, or if you really enjoyed it like me, you can pay $7.99 to own the film. Next up is Crazy Stupid Love. I really like this movie, and I think it doesn't get enough credit. First off, let me explain the premise. Cal Weaver, played by Steve Carell, do you need any more reason to watch? Is living the American dream. He has a good job, a beautiful house, great children, and a beautiful wife named Emily, played by Julianne Moore. Cal's seemingly perfect life unravels, however, when he learns that Emily has been unfaithful and wants a divorce. Over 40 and suddenly single, Cal is adrift in the fickle world of dating. Enter Jacob Palmer, played by Ryan Gosling. Another reason to watch. A self-styled player who takes Cal under his wing and teaches him how to be a hit with the ladies. This movie is really good. I think it's funny, I think it's romantic, and I think it's got some really good twists in it that will just make you love it even more. If you choose to give it a watch, you can rent it for $2.99 on Amazon Prime. I have to mention Phantom of the Opera because it's just such a classic old kind of romance. If you don't know the premise, from his hideout beneath a 19th century Paris opera house, the brooding Phantom, played by, spoiler, I guess, Gerard Butler, which I found out after having watched the movie so many years ago, schemes to get closer to vocalist Christine. The Phantom, wearing a mask to hide his disfigurement, strong-arms management into giving the budding starlet key roles, but Christine instead falls for the art's benefactor Raoul. Terrified at the notion of her absence, the Phantom enacts a plan to keep Christine by his side, while Raoul tries to foil the scheme. I really like this movie. It is a little bit older, but it's just such a classic story. If you choose to give it a watch, and you're subscribed to Hoopla, which I guess is another streaming service out there, you can watch it Hoopla, or you can rent it for $3.99 on Amazon Prime. I really hope that this list can help anyone struggling to find something to watch this Valentine's Day. I will personally be watching Crazy Rich Asians on repeat, and then forcing my significant other to watch the High School Musical trilogy with me. Because we all know that love means sitting through the movies that our loved ones force us to watch. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video to show it some love. Comment down below if you're going to be watching any of these recommendations, or comment down below what you did end up watching or are planning to watch for Valentine's Day, because I'm curious. And finally, please subscribe if you have not done so already. Thank you again for all the support, and I will see you in the next video.